Moving beyond just linear equations and inequalities and functions, and now we're going to be getting into exponentials, exponents, and exponential functions. And we start off here by multiplying properties of exponents. And as we begin, we're identifying what are called monomials. Now, what is a monomial? I'm glad you asked. A monomial is a number, a variable, or the product of a number and one or more variables with a non-negative integer exponent. And it has only one term. And it can be a constant is a monomial, that is a real number. And so let's look here at some specifics as to whether these four examples here are monomials or not. So let's look at the first here. Negative x plus 5. Well, here, this negative x, negative 1x, that's the product of a number and a variable, but that's one term. And this integer positive 5 is another term. So no, this is not a monomial. It has two terms, more than one, I almost just say more than one term. All right, let's look at the one below. 23 times ABCD squared. Well, this is the product of a number and one or more variables, actually four variables here. And one of those is actually raised to the power of 2 squared. And so, yes, this is a monomial. It is the product of a number and variables. Now let's go to the top right. XYZ squared divided by 2. Or actually, I could say it's 1/2 times XYZ squared, right? Same thing as divided by 2. And so therefore it is, I could say it is a monomial. We actually could say it's the product of a number and one or more variables, but we could also say, since it's in the denominator, that it is the product of variables with a constant in the denominator. Now, the one below that's a little bit different. Here we got MP in the numerator and a variable n in the numerator, but that n is not a constant. And so therefore, no, this is not a monomial. And why? It has a variable in the denominator. All right, so again, what's a monomial? It's a number and a variable, or the product of a number and one or more variables with a non-negative integer exponent. We'll get into what that is, non-negative integer exponent, after a while. It has only one term. And what is not, one of the things that is not a monomial is something that has more than one term, or if we have a variable in the denominator. Let's get on a little bit later here with multiplying exponents. And specifically, we're going to look at the product of powers.